Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. And yes, it's again. I find myself talking to you all day and a great portion of the night. And that's because that's my job as spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Basically, meaning that as human beings, you get a chance to live on this earth in these bodies during these times and have the best of times. That's my mission, to let you know that you were designed to experience that, to share with you, when possible, why it's not happening. And not only that, but to show you and to guide you, if you would, how to get that which you say you want. And to assure you that it's nobody trying to take advantage of you. You play a major role in its manifestation. In fact, it is because you play, and you is all of you, play a major role. Everything that you all do belong to you all to access as you need, want, or desire. And through this process, you might experience and enjoy peace and prosperity and freedom and the joy of life and the fulfillment of your dreams. And all of this is made possible because of the love that was made known from the beginning as we look upon the earth and experience the resources that have been given to us by a power unknown, except we call it God. Definitely can't see it. The resources above the earth, on the earth, and the earth that are available to do all the things that we, the people, determine are essential, or as we might imagine. And we do it by each of us who benefit from it, and that's all of us, play a major role in its manifestation. And that makes it ours. And there's no room for any other philosophy of life. There's no room for any other system of government. For this government is the divine government. It is the government used in heaven wherever it is, whether it's above, whether it's in you or around you. It's the stuff that heaven is made of. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take a moment, share that with you. And I wanted to say, we have experienced some real stuff, and we're going through some trying times. The insurrection was just another step. All that we saw through last year, just leading up to this point. And those who perpetuate that type of what we call disgusting stuff plan to keep it going. Even in the United States Congress today, in the office of Senate, you got those violators of oaths. We got those who have stood before the American people and lied. And they are there making decisions, arguing, and making debates about policies that are to be adjudicated in or against our interest. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say that when you think about the Democrats and what Biden's talking about, sometimes it's so refreshing just to get away from what we've been exposed to for so long. And I hear many of you getting off the side talking about Savior. And I listen to Biden talk smooth, soft, has its benefit. But I want to say to all of us, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to all of us, that despicable force out there that you can't stand, it's not playing any games. The people want it. The people are filled with the stuff that evil is made of. And they are lost. And just hanging around here in the status quo is not sufficient. We got to do better than that. Essentially, what we have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is change the system. It's not good enough to just try to prop this up over here or prop this up over here. Say, for instance, like you start spreading the positions in government around to people of different ethnicities, and that's fair, really fair. But if that's the representation of the change that you want to give the people, that's not really change. That's the same old thing. So what we have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is change the system. See, I want you to understand that everything that happens is a result of the system that we exercise. The stuff that I just got through mentioning to you is predicated on that system that I described to you. It's predicated on that. Operational through the statutes and structures that have been set up because they have been set up to address human concern. The problem is, it's not for human concern that they do it. It's exploitation of human concern for the benefit of a few. That's how evil works. That's how evil steals the show. And so what we are to do is to lift up the light of God's way for everybody. Those of you, for instance, who are fathers, and perhaps maybe you are fathers to some children, perhaps that you never bought a can of milk, a bottle of milk, a diaper. Sometimes perhaps you think about that and you try to get it off your mind. You just don't want to think about it, and it drags you. And you know deep down inside, it could have been better, and you would that it had been better. However, it wasn't better because of the situation that you found yourself in. And you don't know what to do. You don't know what to apologize or just forget it or struggle with it. Those of you who are mothers, I know you've been deceived by many men, some of you, not all of you. I'm saying this because many of you have gone through the process of giving up your kids for adoption because you know you found yourself in a situation where you just couldn't handle it for yourself, let alone somebody else. And so you, for the love of not only your child, but for yourself as well, you give it up for an adoption. Some who find themselves have to leave it on the doorstep, and thank God not put in a garbage. But if you put it in the garbage, somebody found it. Well, all of these kinds of things happen. Well, we don't want these things to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want you to live your life and watch things start off in the beginning to be such a ball of joy. And then as the time passed by, it seems to be falling all down. No, we don't want that. We want it to be life every day until the end. Pure D life. This is divine love I'm talking to you about, ladies and gentlemen. It's an expression of a power you can't see, but you allow it to live in you as you see it. As you see it. But you got to be genuine as you see it. Now, there are going to be all kinds of people who see it different than you. There are going to be people who can see it so much higher than where you're at. But when you hear it or see it, you'll be grateful. You'll be thankful because now you can move up. And at the same time, there are going to be those who look at what you're reflecting and be drawn to it because they are growing because of what you do. This is a process. But those who are willing to give their lives, and this is gospel here, those who are willing to stand up and face death every day, you take the lead. Why am I saying you take the lead? Because that's what you want to hear me say. Now I've confirmed it. You take the lead and show the people the way of love. Stand up for the right ways of everybody. Don't let people like the ex-president who wants to rule the world. Don't, and people are drawn to it because he wants to rule the world. They think if they stick with him, he will give them their cut. and to hell with everybody else. That's all it's about. Him and his supporters getting their cut. But we got to let these supporters know that there is a God that can give them much more than he could ever give them. Let them know that goodness and righteousness can give them more than what evil can ever give them. Now, I know, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have the evidence. These people who have chosen to go the opposite way have done so because they haven't seen anything worth going for righteousness for. You know, these people need examples. You know, they just need examples. You know, sometimes you have to steal to eat. And if you steal, you eat. But if it's righteous not to steal, then you don't steal, you starve. And they don't know anything about all the other stuff we be talking about. So to them, stealing is the way to eat. So we have to keep stuff like that in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much for giving me that. It's your time. It's been a pleasure. I hope I said something that is beneficial. Until next time, Eddie Marcus saying good night.